All right, it's April 1st. Welcome to the weekly analysis. Selena?
Okay. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. You guys see my screen?
I do.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Huh?
No, I was saying yes.
Okay, thank you, Prince. Okay. So EA, it didn't do its projected. Price didn't retrace to the golden zone. However, for God's plan, price brought up 30 pips before it sold down 80 pips. You could also waited until the 1 hour order block on Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern to do the I don't know what I meant by double bottom for 92 pips. Or if you had the heart, you could have held it all week until Thursday at 3 a.m. Eastern for 100 pips exactly. I think it was 100.02 pips that EA went down. There was also opportunities to buy and sell this week. It was a possible 385 pips for the week on EA. EC, it did its projected price retrace below the 78 on the weekly order block. Sell until it buys. You could have used God's plan on this pair. There was a 1 hour bearish order block on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Price hit TP Thursday at 2 a.m. Eastern, possible 168 pips. EN, it didn't do its projected. Price didn't retrace to the golden zone, but price brought up 100 pips before it began to retrace 172 pips. There was a possible 210 pips for the week on EN. GA didn't do its projected. Price did not retrace to the golden zone, but there was a possible 162 pips. GN didn't do its projected either, but price didn't retrace to the golden zone. Price bought up 126 pips before it retraced 197 pips. NU did its projected. Price sold down 24 pips before it brought up 116 pips. However, it didn't retrace doing this buy up. US 30, it didn't do its projected. Price didn't retrace to the golden zone, but there was a possible 1141 points. And USD Chef, price did its projected. Price retraced to the 50 of the weekly golden zone. There was a possible 106 pips. I don't know why I didn't break down and say where you could do all these entries at for some reason. I don't know. I think I was tired last night. But that was the ones for the week. And then the weekly order blocks for this week are these are the weekly order blocks for the week. As you can see, it's quite a few again this week. There's a couple that are bullish order blocks and God's plan. CAD JPY, the weekly candle went 371 pips. Chef JPY, 421 pips. GJ, 585 pips. And USD CAD, that candle traveled 246 pips. But that doesn't mean you can't use God plan on the other ones. But the ones in blue had a big pip count. And then the last one that I just wanted to show briefly is I did the monthly order blocks. And just real quick. And here is a list of the monthly order blocks that I saw. There's quite a few. So I know this is a good time for people who want to do the top-down analysis, or like Todd was speaking of earlier, framing the market. This is a good day to do it because of the first day of the month where you can really take your time and frame the market from the monthly on down. That's all I got. I'm done, Todd.
Oh, thank you. I was talking to the muted screen, but
Oh.
I was just saying, it seems like if y'all did God's plan, y'all got toe up this week. So hopefully,
well, I will say, Todd, I shouldn't have just said, well, it didn't go to the golden zone, but like you spoke earlier in the last class that you don't necessarily have to go to the golden zone to get those 100 pips.
you don't, but I think that some people are taking the lazy way out, and that's not the best way to go about it. If you wait for the move, if it moves in your direction, that's one thing. But if the move is against you, then you have to wait until the market sets up in a way that you have the advantage. And I think that's the major issue with not understanding what needs to happen, from the market perspective. So I think that going forward, I think more people are probably going to be willing to look and see what's going on from the market's perspective before they just jump into the trade. Okay. We talked about the dollar, right? And maybe everybody didn't understand what was going on with the dollar, but when you look at GJ, this is setting up similar to the US dollar, right? And I get it. We're at a position to where the moving averages aren't in our favor. But we understand we need to go back and tap into this order block, right? We need to address some imbalance here. So we expect for the market to push back up to this area. That's just what I expect. Now, it's always a chance that it doesn't push back and it pushes down. But at any rate, the first move should be up. We're at the first of the month. So the first move I expect is an up move. And I'm going to sit on that move. I'm going to wait on that up move. And if it doesn't happen, I don't have to trade this. But as soon as I drop down to this weekly, I already see that this weekly is saying that I should expect an up move. Now, again, the moving averages aren't in my favor. So I need to see a pullback to the zone. Then I need to see price push up. But the fact that we have a low, a lower low, and a higher low, which creates a swing low here, gives me the ultimate confidence that we are indeed going up. The dollar index says we are going up. So for me, my advantage is once I get this pullback to be sitting here on the trigger for the buy up. There's a lot of news this week, but I don't care. I'm not tripping because the charts are already set up for me to succeed. So if it's me, I'm looking for this pullback. This pullback is about 86 pips to the initial zone. So maybe you're selling this down. And that's a natural hedge. Maybe you're selling it down until it turns around and buys up. That's on you. It's totally up to you. But your vision is everything in trading. So if you don't have the vision to understand, hey, I expect a pullback and a buy up, then you're losing already. If you're just getting into the market hoping that it moves one way or the other, that's where your problems are going to begin. I'm not going to hop in hoping it moves. I'm going to expect a sell down first. What does that mean? That means when I drop down to these lower time frames, I need to see something supporting the move down, right? I drop down to the 4 hour. I see that the price has pushed up and sold down. When I drop down to the 1 hour, I see a bearish order block here. I see another bearish order block here. Price is pushing up a little bit. Maybe we break this order block, maybe not. Maybe we come back to this order block, maybe not. But I'm waiting because we broke this low. I'm waiting for a pullback and then another break, right? Maybe the price pushes immediately down and it hits my zone. The point is, you can't just hop into the trade for the sale because maybe it goes all the way up here. Maybe it mitigates an imbalance in this wick right here, right? So you can't just hop in and say, okay, I'm selling it because it might go up further than you think. You have to be patient enough to understand what you are looking for. Everything on the higher time frames is saying sell, but the lower time frames are still pushing up. So you have to wait. You have to wait until the market gives you what you need to see, right? I don't like the fact that the moving averages are curling, because when they curl, it's telling me that price is pushing up. So if price breaks this order block, it's going to run into this order block. If it breaks this order block, it's probably going to this imbalance in this wick. If that's the case, I can pull the trigger and I can sell it. But either way it goes, I have to wait until the market actually does what I think it's going to do. All this is doing is breaking structure. We broke this low, we pulled back. We broke this low, we're pulling back. Are we going to break this low? Once that happens, you can get in on the pullback. You can sell it down if you want. When it gets down to this level, maybe it stops right here. Maybe it closes this imbalance. Maybe it goes all the way down here. Maybe it breaks these lows. There are tons of liquidity. This is this old swing low that hasn't been broken, right? Maybe it pushes down to this swing low, right? Before it turns around. But we're expecting price to keep pushing to the upside. Maybe it breaks this swing low and deals with the imbalance in here. All of this is possible, guys. All of this is possible. We just have to understand what's going on and what can happen on this side of the chart as price pushes down. And you can hold your trade. If it breaks this low, you expect the pullback. If it breaks this low, you expect the pullback, and it keeps going down, right? And it's going to create structure the same way this is creating structure on the way down. And as long as it doesn't break any of that structure going back, you can still hold the trade. But if it starts breaking the structure on the way back up, then you know you got to get out of the trade and enter a buy for it to push back up. Y'all understand that? That's how I trade. So let me recap. On this monthly, because this is the end of the month, I understand we had a bullish order block. I understand that we pushed into the bullish order block and we've rejected. So I expect for price to push bullish. When I drop down to the weekly, it's a bullish order block. It's created after this low. We got an impulse move. We got a pullback, right? Pretty good odds. This is a good pullback. Pull back into our zone, close to our 78.6. Actually, all the way to the 78.6. Now we're pushing up. For those of you who just want to trade the fib to the negative 27, maybe this is your price target. If you understand that that's your price target, then your advantage is to buy the market. So you're waiting for it to pull back, right? Because it broke this structure right here. If you drop to the 4-hour, you see the structure right here? Price broke this structure. You got a bull crap pullback, but not a major pullback. So maybe you want to wait until this pulls. Maybe you want to wait for this price to pull back to this structure before it goes higher. But all we're waiting on, here's a low and here's a low. All we're waiting for is for price to pull back and then start pushing up. Once it starts pushing up and it breaks this high right here on the 4-hour, right? If you're just a 4-hour trader, once it breaks this high and pulls back, there's your entry. Now you're going to the top side. And your target is plenty of pips away. So you don't have to feel like you're rushed. This is about a 730 pip move. Now, don't expect this all in 1 week, guys. But what my point is, once it breaks this high, this is where we're going. Now, obviously, it's going to be some pullbacks in between, but this is where we are going. And if you look at that monthly chart, I already have the blue line marked up of where we need to pull back to. right, to deal with this monthly order block that was created. And it's actually a 2-month order block that I was looking at, and I looked at it back in December, right? You see this 2-month order block? So this negative 27 is where price needs to push up, and we've tapped into the 2-month order block. The 1-month order block is right here where I have marked off. That's where the wick of that 1-month order block starts. This is where I expect price to eventually get to before we turn around and sell, because we're going to definitely sell. The dollar is definitely going bearish. We broke this low right here. You see I annotated, we broke this low on the monthly. So we expect a pullback, right? We talked about this a little bit last week. Let me delete these markings. Let me delete this fib, because since we broke this low and we're getting a pullback, we can break out a fib, right? Y'all remember that?
Yes.
So we break out this fib, we expect to pull back to our zone. The 78 is right here. This is right in between. And that taps into the order block. Everything that we think is supported by the pullback, right? So we can expect for price to push in here to our area. Everything that we think is supported by what needs to happen on the chart. Y'all understand that? Y'all see how we came to this conclusion?
Yes.
So once you have a case built, all you have to do now is wait for it to play out on your chart. And you pick and choose when you're going to enter for these moves, right? Since we like trading the weekly pullback, in my opinion, this pullback is probably not enough for me. So I'm just going to wait until it turns around. And I'll get the buy action instead of the pullback. You understand it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, we just saw earlier, I believe Barbara broke down CAD JPY, correct? Barbara? Is that?
Yeah.
In CAD JPY was enough room to sell down. So maybe I'm selling CAD JPY the first of the week. Maybe I'm getting my 10%. Y'all know I will. And maybe when I'm finished with that pair, by that time, the JPY is pushing up. I mean, we got 1,000 news events going on this week, and it's NFP. So we know we're going to the north side. We're expecting top side movement on the dollar, guys. So maybe it provides me an entry where I can get in for the dollar later on in the week, you know, and I'll just use that to ride on up. Any questions?
I got this might sound a little dumb too. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, so NFP always at the beginning of the month?
Yeah, first Friday of most months.
All right. I'm finna write that down. That's it. Thank you.
Except for Black History Month, it was.
I know. That's why I say it most.
Hey, Ty.
What's up?
So are you only on JPYs or like USD
No.
CAD?
No, I mean, there are several pairs. This is a beautiful pair too, and we know it needs to pull back up, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you'll get a strong move out of here at the first of the week. You know, CAD got news too, but maybe you're going to get a strong pullback first and then a push down. But what I'm saying is I don't want to break down these pair. I want somebody else to break down the pair, because I don't have a problem with marking up my charts. But I feel like some people, I'll break down the pair and it sounds good when we listen to it. And then the week starts and nobody else has markups on their charts. But I have them all marked up on my chart. That's not helping the group, you know? So I want to be able to allow other people to do their own chart markups, but mark it up for everybody. But all of us should be doing our individual markups on our pair, because all we have to do at this point, once we have the chart marked up, is set our alert and our alarms, so they will tell us when it's time to get into this trade. So if you look at this pair right here, it's still pushing down. Everything about this pair to me says we're going to push lower, right? Now, once we break these lows or whatever, whatever this is going to do, maybe it'll just turn around on a dime right here and push back up. But until it breaks this high right here, we're bearish. We just broke this low right here. We retraced and pushed down. So when the market opens, USD CAD is going to do something. Now we know the dollar is going to push up. So maybe it wicks these lows. I don't know. Maybe it takes liquidity and then breaks structure. But once it pulls back, you have an entry to go higher. And I moved my mark, but you have an entry to go to your golden zone. So maybe you enter for a long to your zone right here. I mean, you have to kind of pick and choose what pair works for you. And maybe this long goes to the imbalance, it closes this imbalance, right? You just have to kind of make it make sense for you as a trader, and you pick which pair gives you the advantage. But I'm not gonna mark up any more pair. I need somebody else to pick a pair, mark it up, see if we have the advantage or see. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, if I wasn't driving, I would.
Yeah, I mean, we have plenty of people in here. We got 19 folks. Who wants to break down a pair?
I mean, I'll do one, Todd, if nobody else want to do one, but I'm sure there's other people who want to, or maybe who need to.
Anyone?
I'm volunteering. I ain't gonna do Kenya like that. Kenya, where you at, baby?
I want to do Kenya like that.
I'll do it, but I'm scared.
We got you 100%. That's what we here for.
Don't
worry, Kenya, I was too.
I had a very volatile week. I was up and then I was not.
We got you, baby. Pick one. Roll it out. We with you.
Okay. I haven't even looked at them, so this is like real raw.
That's what we want. We want your one from the beginning to the end.
Okay, let me pull up your order blocks. We already did CAD, JPY, and.
But listen.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead. No, go ahead, do your thing.
Oh, I was just trying to pick one off the list. Like I said, I haven't even looked at these. So I'm literally just about to.
Hey, Kenya, go with GJ.
You want to look at No, because I ain't about to have Kim beat me up on her pair. Look, no, I want everybody to trade GJ. Okay, well then at least we could. Okay, so Kim, just don't beat me up. But no, you good. I will take a stab at GJ. Let me pull up my charts. This one. All right. So I guess I'm supposed to start at the monthly.
I darn sure would.
It's not telling me anything except for the fact that if I were to draw a trend line, we're in an uptrend. Question mark, or maybe we're in a downtrend. Oops. From here. So I don't know if we're in an uptrend or a downtrend because I don't normally draw trend lines. I'm just trying to do what I saw earlier today.
So if you don't draw a trend line, why you got them ugly things on the chart?
Oh, okay, my bad.
I want you to break it down how you normally.
I would say if you look, price is currently bullish, right? Because it pushed up and broke structure.
It broke right here. This
So,
high.
Yeah, well, the other high, it would be the high I would have looked at is the order block to the other order block to the left of that.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been my high. So then now you can fib the impulse move. And this is on a monthly, so we talking big time here. And then price has pulled back to
Not quite.
So yeah, so now I would just so for 2 months price went bearish, and then for 2 additional months, for 3 months, price is bullish.
Oh, you're talking about right here, bearish for 2
Mhm.
months, bullish for 3.
Yep.
This indecision candle.
So now I would go down to the weekly. To see if price either is, so for me, price did not break the low to the left.
This one?
Yep, that low right there. Todd would mark it up from the body,
So listen,
right? And then you see it didn't break her Todd's body, it didn't break the low, and then it started breaking structure to the top side.
Mm-hmm.
can we back up and go back to the monthly though?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So on the monthly, it did break my low. You see the 23 line right there?
Right here.
Right. And now it's pulling back. So I would have fibbed from the top.
I was going there.
Who you?
Y'all let her walk through how she gonna do it. Cause if y'all
I
telling
wouldn't do none of this.
yeah, just let her walk through her process.
So hush.
Goodness.
I just tell you why I would fib it that way, because it broke that low right there, right?
Mm-hmm. So okay. I wouldn't have done this, but I see where you're going, Todd, because I feel like this supports the easy money strategy for the retracement on the weekly. Because if this down move broke our low, then now we're looking for sales. So we expect it to pull back to the 50, 61, 78, somewhere up in here, to then sell back down.
Right. Big picture wise, this is on the monthly. Right.
So what I would do in real life is probably not even start from the monthly, except now I will. And I would look at the weekly.
Where's your 78?
Oh, I lost it.
Yeah. So to me, you have to kind of draw your targets on the chart. So when you drop down, you're not in no man's land. You can highlight your zone. You already know your price is in your golden zone.
What? Okay. I'm not highlighting am I highlighting the golden zone, or am I highlighting the 78?
Well, I would put a line at the 78, but your price is in the golden zone. So that's cool. You don't even necessarily have to draw it up. But originally I would have drawn up the golden zone because that's where I knew I could have traded price back to. Right. But now I'm going to mark my 78 because if price is still pushing to the north, then I need to understand where it could possibly reach. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, this is the benefit of doing the higher time frame analysis, because if you look at this on a 2-month, it's going to look totally different. You notice how when I looked at my UJ chart, it was marked up from the 2-month time frame.
Right.
The reason why I like looking at price from those higher time frames is it gives you a better understanding of what needs to happen. You know, like if you're not a structure freak, looking at this chart on the monthly, when you first looked at it, you said, well, it ain't telling me much. It's it is telling you a lot, but you got to look at it like, look, hit 2M, just hit 2M. Okay, now you see the 2-month, how you have you can see the order block clearly.
The bearish order block.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And price tapped back in last month.
Mm-hmm. So you're already selling this.
Well, yeah, it's going to sell. It's going to sell. Now, the JPYs generally sell together, right? But you have to wait until it lines up on the chart. So internally, somewhere in your mind, you got to put this in your toolkit to say, hey, the JPYs are going to sell soon. I don't know when, but I know this is not going to be a buy forever type situation. That's
Right.
what I'm thinking, right? Now, Selena would tell you, hey, man, you got to look at your moving averages. This could just be a buy up from because it rejected at the moving averages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, that's correct. But if you understand the overall tone of the market, you know that this is going to sell, because when the U.S. recession hits, and you know, in the risk sentiment changes, you know, those JPYs get stronger and everything else gets weaker. So that's why that's why the charts are all setting up for the JPYs to sell. Like you see all this news about the dollar, about the fall through the floor. Y'all hear about all that? Is everybody tracking those news events? You got China,
Yes.
China and everybody working against the dollar.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. That's the truth. But you have to be able to recognize things on the chart. We have the real world fundamentals, and you see people talking about it, but can you recognize it on the chart? So now that you see this on the 2-month level, you're like, oh, but there's a big bearish order block on this 2-month chart. And if you squeeze the screen down so we can see structure, all price did was come back and mitigate an imbalance, right? So we pushed probably 50% of this imbalance. If you use the GAN box from that.
It retested that violated order block, right?
Yeah, but go right there, throw the GAN box on there.
Mhm.
Bam, money.
That 50% is the business.
So if you can locate and you can have an understanding of what's going on in the charts, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be on the right side of the action.
Let's say, okay, so keep going.
Yeah, you can keep breaking it down.
Okay, so
You go back to the weekly, like we were. How did you zoom in right there?
I just used the plus sign over here on the left.
Okay. You know, I'm not tech savvy.
I'm not either. Y'all see me moving in slow motion. Okay, so the bullish order block, this is how I would do. And now I have additional information, so I feel empowered. I guess I'm supposed to fib just the weekly candle because that would give me a more conservative TP for potentially using God's plan. I've not measured to see how many pips are available. But that's where we're taking it. And it's 100 pips. So it's a little over 100 pips. So it meets the minimum criteria for God's plan. So I would consider selling GJ this week.
Hey. Killing me, man.
I mean, I'm telling you how I think and how
Well, I know, but so what if it?
If I were to just jump in on Sunday like I like to do.
So the funny thing is, it's right at 100 pips. You know, like for me to take this trade, I need to see it go up first to give me some cushion.
I'm sorry, Ty, what was that?
I would want to see this push up first and give me some cushion for that 100 pip move.
Agreed, because I don't like how my 100 pip stop loss leaves me out here in the cold.
Right.
I would want to cover that wick.
But I agree. But this is where you have to drop down your time frames and see, is the market showing you bearish? Is it showing you bullish? What needs to be accomplished within that wick?
Is this considered a stop run?
Well, it could be. No, I don't think it is because it didn't go above anything. But you got to keep dropping down. That's just the daily.
Yeah.
That, to me, that shows you that the market is exhausted and is ready to push back down. But
what you're saying is probably it can still feel this wick.
Yes. You want it to fill that wick. If you're trading God's plan with this pair, you want to see it push up first.
Okay. So I do see imbalance right here. Hey, Selena, we got some imbalance. So maybe but it's not, wait. So is this considered a break because it broke this, or am I waiting for it to break this?
Well, I think you have the first level it did break. Like if you drop down another time frame, that's a break of structure.
Right. This right here, this break of this pink wick right here.
Yeah.
So then now I'm looking for an entry for sales, which now
maybe price will pull back. Well, but you got to look. That's cool, but you got to drop down too. Like, so you can keep dropping down and it refines what's going on.
I got you. But I guess I see imbalance here. So I would want to find at least the 50 as a starting point. I see a back-to-back bearish order blocks up here.
Yeah, and you see the imbalance right there, right above your red mark.
Right here.
Yep. All those are decent areas. Now that you have your markings, you have kind of targets. So you can't just hop into the trade when it goes there, but you can look and see reaction, right?
Mhm.
Maybe it pushes through that imbalance and goes up and hits one of those order blocks. But the higher up it pushes, the more you're liking the sell, because the higher up it pushes, the more cushion it gives you for that sell. So how many pips is that to that imbalance?
From where price is now to the imbalance that we just highlighted.
Yeah.
Oops, I'm a little off, but
Perfect. So if it goes up those 50 pips, now I feel a lot better about taking this trade, because now your 100 pip stop loss, where's 100 pips from that point? At 100 pips.
mhm.
Okay, so now go back down to that level, that 1 hour level where you saw those order blocks. Okay, so you see how even if it goes those 100 pips, you're still within that stop loss area. The only thing that makes me nervous is if it wick those highs, it would go just past your stop loss. So the
Mhm.
higher up the price goes, the more confident you should become as a person waiting on the sale.
Mhm.
Because at some point you're like, okay, it went up 60 pips, I'm in this sucker, right? Because even if it goes up to wick those highs, it's not going to stop me out of the trade. And it ain't going to stop me out anyway, myself. But
So
I,
could I not?
I would think that that's a pretty decent entry where you have the imbalance, or you know, where you're looking to get a trade at the imbalance. But
Could I not look to get in here?
yeah, you very much could. But my point is, it might not ever go that high. You understand what I'm saying? You can look the higher entries are great entries, but it is not guaranteed to push back that high, guys. You know, as a matter of fact, maybe it retests those the second moving average, right? But because price is in between those moving averages, that's a very realistic entry, in my opinion.
So isn't that the same concept that you teach though, Todd? Like we fib the impulse move.
Yes,
I
that
don't know
that
if
is
I
that
right
is that is the concept that I teach. But I don't want you to be naked on the fib. The fib is just a tool. You still have to drop down to see the structure or what needs to happen within that zone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying if we're looking for, we have reason to believe that our entry should be somewhere in this neighborhood.
Yes.
And we're trying to get as much of a safety net as possible to align with structure. So ideally, we would probably cover this wick right here.
That's correct.
So would I fib this impulse move or would I fib from the top?
I would fib the impulse move you did initially. Now, it's nothing wrong with fibbing from the top, because if you use a higher time frame, you're going to fib both ways. But I like the pullback from that initial fib. I like the pullback. Like it looked like it pulled back 78% and then pushed down. So it is a chance that price goes to that right at your 50, which is above your imbalance. But my point is, if you're trading this strategy, you have to be patient enough to allow price to push back up, right? And if it means that you missed the sell down, like let's say it doesn't push all the way back up to your area and it pushes down fast and you can't catch it, let it go, because the price is going to buy up later on in the week. Or you have another pair like the USD that you know is going to buy up. So you have to be comfortable enough in your analysis that you're willing to let a trade go. Don't marry the trade before it unfolds, right? This is why we do these analyses on various pairs. Because if one pair takes off without you, you got to be able to say, okay, forget it. Let me move to my second option. Hey, let me move to the dollar. I understand that it's going to push up this week. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. In theory.
Don't go down with the ship, so to speak.
All right, thanks. That's enough.
Great job, Kenya.
Yeah, I think it was.
Did great. Great job.
So, what do y'all expect out of gold this week? US 30.
If the dollar is buying, they should be selling. I said if the dollar is buying.
Thanks, Kim. But I'm talking
Oh,
about
sorry, my bad. I'm going back on mute.
You gotta come on, y'all. Like this is for everybody. It's only gonna make you stronger as a trader. Rosa, Summer, Monk, Brad, iPad.
Wait, so since I just went, I get to pick the next person, right? That's how this works, right?
We
So
got-
I love your train of thought, Kenya. You are.
I
oh,
know,
man.
I know. That was what's up.
Oh, yes, I do. Hey, Leandra. You still there, girl?
Oh, Summer's at work. Okay.
I think Leandra said she was almost home when I volunteered.
Is anybody ready for this deal? The next 10
Yeah, hold on. And give me 5 minutes.
All right, I gotta go, guys.
5 minutes. We're gonna be off this call in 5 minutes.
No, that's right.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, we can do a Leandra takeover next week.
Or Selena. Selena, you ready?
sorry, did you hear me?
Yeah, we can do a Leandra takeover next week.
Oh, no.
You're gonna be off this call in 5 minutes.
Did you do the, was it the GAU? Was it a pound, Australian dollar?
Yeah, but that's the same as
And the pound CAD as well.
it's the same as EA. GA and EA are pretty much the same.
Okay.
GCAD, y'all can twerk that up.
You don't work.
So do I get to pick somebody new, or are we gonna wait 5 minutes for Leandra?
Even on, just do what you talking about.
I didn't.
I personally feel like we can wait until next week.
Okay.
Just my thoughts.
Can you put on her Valley Girl? Okay. Alicia is crazy.
Next
Y'all-
week, Easter. I don't know if I'll be available next week.
Baby, we got the week after. We're gonna be doing this forever. We all millionaires.
What brother Sean doing? What you doing, Sean?
Right, I picked Sean.
Volunteer Sean. I volunteer Sean. Oh no, can you volunteer Sean?
Yeah, I picked Sean. Sean, your turn.
Not whispering on the line.
Look,
I
Nobody
know.
could hear you.
Can you volunteer?
Sean gonna give y'all some choice words. What?
He showing you. Sean will one.
Road chart.
He gonna cuss us out.
I know.
I know, that's why I'm volunteering Sean.
Well, go.
You won't go.
Who has the control or whatever?
You can pull it up.
Now,
Share-
Sean, you supposed to be
share
controlling your
your
own
screen.
chart.
Well, I mean, bear with me then. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Here we go.
How do I make my chart into this thing? I don't know how to do all that stuff.
You know,
Okay,
share your
Leandra
screen.
needs 5 minutes. Sean need 15 minutes.
Well, if you stop talking and tell me what to click, I can get it going. I mean,
Share your screen.
Your screen.
where's that at?
At the bottom.
in the
Oh,
middle.
Sean, it's at the bottom.
It should be
Okay.
green, I
Yeah.
think.
All right, I got you. Where's my shit at?
No, this is the entertainment part right here.
Y'all wild, man. Y'all act like y'all don't watch R-rated movies.
Oh my goodness.
I'm a nun. Sorry.
All right. So this is gold. It's bullish from a higher time frame. That's the monthly chart. It's a bullish order block just created. So I would think we're going to get a pullback. We've already started getting one actually.
So why don't you fib that candle and mark up your zone on it, Tuck? Bowsers.
All right.
Too late, Leandra. Sean took your spot. So let's-
Okay. Okay, I don't like the weekly charts, but from a monthly perspective, we do understand that it needs to push down. But this weekly chart, tells me that, it's probably gonna buy up. I see a higher low there. So I'll just continue to drop down. Okay, on the daily, looks like there's a bullish order block and we had a pull back into that bullish order block. Notice the moving averages towards the bottom of price. So to me, this indicates that gold is most likely gonna buy. As a matter of fact, let me just fib that pullback. Looks like it's probably I don't know, 50 to 62. Yeah, about a 62% pullback on the daily that we got.
Wait, what did you just fib to say that?
Okay. See this bullish order block?
Yep.
And you see this red candle pull back into that bullish order block.
I got you. I'm tracking.
So 62% pullback. So go down to the 4 hour. I mean, to me, you can potentially continue to go down here, but fuck, I can't tell,
But wait, isn't it consistent with the dollar? If gold continues to sell a little bit more, isn't the dollar gonna push up to then sell down, or do I have that backwards?
No, gold and the dollar are inverse, for the most part. This chart, see how the moving averages are moving up towards the top of price? It's like price is coming through the moving averages.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, it's probably going to sell, it's hard to freaking tell, this is where,
Oh,
as I look at the higher time frames, I know it's supposed to sell. I would have to continue to watch price at this point, but it looks like it's setting up for the sell, to me on this one. But I think,
go back to the daily.
yeah, but I think the daily suggested a buy.
So
I see a student high on the week.
go from the top,
It-
go from the
it-
top and fib the push down.
And I was going to say on a daily, you have lower highs, but higher lows.
No, not
So-
not from there, Sean. From the swing high top. Not that high. The second high. You see the middle high right there?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mean, I don't really get how y'all pick and choose your highs, but so you talking about from here to here?
Yep.
Yeah, so we got almost a 78, and we still might, get a 78, but you got at least a discounted pullback.
So sorry, go ahead.
No, what was you gonna say?
No, I was going to say where you had it, the high you marked before to the,
This one? To what? To here?
yeah. Because then
That's what you want me to fib that? Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, you got a 90% pullback from that fib. That's why I fibbed the next.
Well, I'm asking Kim. She hasn't answered. Yeah. Maybe her internet's out. Well, you've already had a 78 from there.
You had a 90.
Well, if you count those wicks, I guess so. Yeah. No, ICT doesn't really count the wicks all the time.
Because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, ICT go whoop your ass. But
I just
all right. Anyway, I mean, so I get why y'all want me to do this. We got the pullback. All I'm saying is, I can't tell at this point whether we're going to continue to get more buy action. Yes, it's going to sell. I know that, but exactly when that's going to happen, I don't know.
Well, I don't think we'll break the high of that. I think we got
I don't think I'm going to break this high either. All I'm saying is we could come back up in here, anywhere from where price
I agree.
At 78. I think all of that's in play, which on a daily chart, that's a long way.
Right. But I think on the 4 hour, it's clearly bearish. You got a 6 hour, go to the 6 hour. Let's look at 6. Yeah. Yeah.
So price needs to pull back in here, probably. At least the 50.
You're going to break that high or that low. And that's where I would go with it.
Well, I don't think it breaks this high. I mean, maybe it does, but I don't know. I just think really all of this is in play.
I agree. But I'm just saying, for the people who might be wanting to trade this, you have your high and your low. So I think it's going to break your low.
Well, ultimately, yes, I agree. But since I don't have $1 million account, I just don't know when necessarily.
Me either. And Leandra, I didn't yell at you for the 6 hour time frame. Leandra's tight. Leandra got on the Tuesday call and tried to talk about a 15-hour chart. Come on, y'all. Come on.
All right. So anyway, that's my breakdown. This right here suggests to me that we probably got some upward action to go.
So Leandra is woke, man.
What she said?
You look at the chat, Sean. A 15-hour chart is not the same. And Leandra, 15 hours and 6 hours ain't the same. Quick. I looked at the 33-hour chart and there's an order block. Everybody goes like, what?
So anyway, I mean, do you want me to continue to drop down or what?
Just break it. Yeah, go ahead and break it down.
All right. So this is the 1 hour chart. Got some imbalance in here. You know, my guess, these higher lows here, imbalance here, price up here, you know, you're probably gonna buy up into here somewhere. Maybe you bust through and keep going higher. The point is, I think you got a little upward action.
Oh my God.
15-minute, same thing. Got the higher highs here. Price is even lower. Still got to go through it, but my guess is that we come up into here.
And you got all them 3 order blocks. I don't think it'll break those 15, all those 3 order blocks.
These right here, I mean, probably not all of them, at least not immediately. But I do think in the immediate term, you know, you're probably gonna come up into here, back into the golden zone.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's all I got.
Spectacular, Sean. I really appreciate you sharing.
Great
You're
job, Sean. Great job.
Thank you,
Awesome.
guys. You. So I guess that concludes the call today.
Leandra, you want to talk about your 15-hour chart?
No, me and Leandra got business that we got to discuss.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You, Leandra, and Prince?
Well, Prince wants to be part of it. He's more than welcome to. You know, I need to talk to Leandra.
Leandra, I'm looking forward to your 22-hour chart. Leandra, you gonna break down GCAT?
Depends. Have you been on here for an hour already? Don't want to do it.
Hey, break out that 17.5-hour chart.
Shut up.
Did you say 17.5 times?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making up stuff.
I looked at the 31-hour chart earlier.
You stupid.
So you gotta stop sharing.
Okay, what do I hit? Pause.
It's at the top. No, it's right below that. And it should say stop share.
I don't see that. I see new share. I see pause share. I
It's
see
below
chat.
that and it's to the right a little bit.
I got you.
Red.
There
Leandra,
we go.
stop crying.
Stop share.
So what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing.
GCAT
Let's see.
or US 30. Do GCAT, then US 30.
Well, USA is going down.
Huh?
US 30 is pulling back. I'm doing this one.
Well, you gotta break it down because
Doing this, we're doing this one. Screen chart. But so last week price did 1,123 pips on a weekly.
what time frame are we on?
You see, it's a weekly.
So I'm just gonna fib that back down.
You don't care about the monthly?
How am I doing? Okay, so I'm right. Still need to fib back down because it's already rejected. I'm gonna check this actually. Oh, actually, I'm doing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so it's tapped into the golden zone
Mm,
of the bearish order block from the monthly.
beautiful.
Wait, Leandra, so you only fibbed the black candle down? You didn't cover the wick on the gray candle?
No, because I'm just fibbing the previous order block to see what this gray candle, this bullish candle, where it sits in terms of the pullback.
Gotcha.
So you can see it entered the golden zone. So I'm not expecting it to go back up into the 78.6 because it's already entered the golden zone. You've got this rejection candle and price come down and reach the -27. And what I got from this is pushed into this bullish order block. So this is what confused me a bit, but then, yeah, then all this rejection is just telling me that price is just ready to go down. And I think I don't want to confuse anymore. I did the 3 month, yeah, the 3 month. Ooh. Oh, price has entered this golden zone on the 3 month. This is going on. Yeah, this is confirmation that this is going on because it's already completed the higher time frame movement.
So it's going to push back down first?
Of this week. Yeah, so we're expecting price to continue bullish, looking from the higher time frames.
This week?
Yeah, this is expecting to go to pull back to go bullish, and then I'm expecting dollar to drop, to be fair. That's what I've got in my notes. Yeah, I'm expecting dollar to drop. Yeah, because on the 2 month, which we've got 27 days left, it's going to pull back into this bullish order block, and then to take all this liquidity here.
So you think that's going to pull back this week?
Well, it's got a month, it's got 27 days, it's on the 2 month, so and it's got this bullish order block which confirms the pullback.
Right.
So I'm expecting dollar to go higher, and then
so it's going to go higher this week, right?
What are we looking at?
Which means US 30 should drop lower this week.
Yeah, which respects this. Oh, which respects this analysis, because we're expecting price to push higher for the overall bullish trend. Then we want to see price go to this golden zone here.
You can make 10% on that move, huh?
Well, I've got to be careful of this wick, because when certain pairs are very bullish, they could go bullish at the start on Sunday. What's that? That's 569. Or if you want to do like God's plan. Oh, why is that going? It's not right. That's not 100 pips. It's on 1,000 pips. That's it. I think. So I'm laughing because it's gone. I have a God plan template and it's gone 1,000 pips, when it should just go 100, but it works out 100 pips on pairs, but on US30, it probably works out 1,000 pips.
Would you recommend this pair for God's plan?
Well, yeah, you can do it in God's plan 100 times over on US30.
Y'all hear what she said, yeah?
Because look, on the daily, we've got this bearish order block here.
Y'all hear what she said, y'all?
This
I
is,
heard her, but my stop loss always gets hit on the US 30.
you probably need to do
A small lot.
probably go down to a lower time frame, or
And use
use
a smaller
less risk and do a larger stop
Listen,
loss.
once the trade turns and goes your direction, everybody, you can up your lot size.
So I'm going to delete.
Your initial lot size doesn't have to break the bank.
And then you wait for that one to go blue before you start looking to add a second position.
Yeah, correct, Kenya.
I do.
Correct. But let me just finish off this before I lose my train of thought. So I'm just going to delete this, and then what we can see on the daily here is confluence that this is going to pull back. Let me make this a bit smaller so we can dive in a bit more. So price has got a swing high here and rejected, and it's also rejected from this bearish order block on the daily. And then we also have massive daily fair value gap here, fair value gap here, or imbalance. And then we also have an imbalance here underneath the golden zone, and another daily bearish order block right where the MAs are, your MA driver.
Tut.
Yeah.
This is the trade right here, Tut.
What, the US 30?
I mean, yes. Yes.
Well, the problem is, I'll get
A 0.01 lot size is all anybody needs.
I'll get fucked up
until
that
it
trade
goes,
before it
until
starts.
the trade goes in your direction. A 0.01.
I'm just going to drop down to the 4 hour.
Another $500.
But as we can see last week, price traded into this. Oh, I'm gutted I missed this, man. This is so good. This is what I was waiting for.
No, but it doesn't matter because you got an opportunity this week, man.
I know, but I'm just trying to say that these are the kind of moves that I like, because you know that price needs to fill this area.
Yeah, but you didn't know when. But now you have the advantage because you know it's selling and it's selling first.
I actually did know this was going to buy, but anyway, I'm not going to go over my trades from last week. But
Is it Leandra Huddleston or
exactly. But yeah, these are the kind of things that I like, because then you know price is needs to fill this area, and when it's when price is really aggressive, like to like bullish or bearish side, you know that price is eventually going to fill these kind of areas, which is nice to see. So that being said, I'm just trying to look for if there's any other order blocks. What are we on the 4 hour on a lower time frame, which price hasn't filled and might tap into again unexpectedly, because I don't want price to run me over. Like Kenya said, when you place your stop loss 100 pips or 200 pips or 20 pips, and then you've been taken out the trade. So I always look to the left-hand side to see. This is when I go to the 2 hour to see what we've got here. This area. This is here we are. Thank you. This one here. Yeah.
How many pips is that order block? The whole thing?
From this area here.
No, how many pips is that order block itself? Like if I got tapped in at the very bottom.
it's 72 pips.
Yep.
But I'll just, that's 156 pips. Because this here is an order block. I don't know if everyone knows that. These two overlapping
You
wicks
make me proud, girl.
are an order block. So this shows me that price is, there's a lot of order blocks here, but there's also there's that is a big order block here as well, inside a bigger order block. So is price going to break through and go grab this liquidity up here? It's got to take some news.
No,
Some serious, it's not, but it would have to take a serious course of action for price to go all the way up here. I'm just trying to show you the blockers that are here that is proving that price needs to pull back. The only thing that I would say is that price might go to this 106 pips to this 12-hour order block. And then I gang boxed it to see the 50%. Okay. And that would probably be, that could be an entry here, but I would wait. What I would do, let me delete this. See the 50% here. I would just put a alert. Let's see if I've got enough alerts left to put. See, I ran out of alerts. Last week I was alerting myself out. Let's delete one. Alert now. I would put an alert here. 50% of this 12-hour order block. Oh, still got alerts. This is different. Sorry. Then I'm gonna put an alert here, and I'll put that. I'll put a note. Look, put in capitals as well. Look for cells. That's what bad. Look for cells every time. Notification. Play sound. Let's play it for 5 seconds. I want a pop-up notification. And when it's crossing, yeah. And then I'll also have another notification. This is a really good one, but let me check the lowest thing. Okay, no. Here we are. Nice. So I've gone down to the 1 hour time frame. Actually, let me go down to the half an hour. I see something. That's an order block there. That's the 15-minute. Yep. Secured. So this is a 15-minute order block, but it's also a half an hour one as well. Yeah. That's probably fast going to probably go through that. I can't know. But there is a imbalance below this. It's quite a lot of order blocks actually. Price is going to be going back and forth. Let's go to 1 hour because this is what confuses me sometimes. That is an order block here. Can't deny that. I would wait. This needs to be filled. Normally I wait with US 30. I wait and to see what price is going to do. Please to see if price. To see if price. This is the order block. Okay, to see if price. I'll put one here. I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put another alert here. Check chart. Because I need to see, we're on, this is a static chart at the moment. Prices, the charts are not moving. So everything I've marked up, yeah, that's great. Price could come to this area or price could just fall back down. We don't know what price is going to do as soon as the market opens and what it's going to do an hour after. But with this, I need to see on the 15-minute for me to get in on or the hour on Sunday. I need to see a breaker structure. I need to see a confluence of I need to see confluence of like breaker structure, something that's going to get me in for a trade. So all I can do now is just mark up the charts and put alerts and say check the charts, because I trade on the side. Because I'm in and out. So, oh, it's already been down. I think price is going to come down to 0. Oh, absolutely. Price is definitely going to come to this order block. 50%. Check the BOS. Yeah, because price is not giving me a clear order block on the lower time frames. It's giving me a lot of candle action. I need to see clearly. And it's giving me a lot of bullish order blocks to go up. So until I see a proper break of structure on this, to know that price is, and a bullish, a bearish order block to show me that price is going down, then I can like put in my positions. I can put my positions now to represent that call. I'm waiting for a sell, but to know exactly where to put this position, I'm very unsure about, because like I said, price could respect this order block, push up to this other higher time frame order block on the 12-hour, or just keep on rejecting from this daily order block, because I've seen price do that, wick in and reject. So I'm very unsure, because it did that down here, or the order book down here, and price just rejected it. Kept on coming back and rejecting, So yeah, I've got to wait, but I'll put my position here just to be fancy. But yeah, price definitely got to pull back, so you're definitely going to get something there. I hope that's helpful. And hello?
Mhm.
Was it Kenya that asked about the adding positions?
Who?
Was it someone asked about adding positions?
Oh, I don't know. Did anybody ask?
I think I did when you were saying the first position can just be a 0.01, and then once that goes blue, then you add your next position, and it can be bigger.
I think Todd said that. I think Todd said that. I think Todd said that quite a few times as well. Kenya. This is what I did last week when I was studying. So basically, I just wanted to see the times from Sunday to Monday, how many times I could get in for an extra position. And that same thing that you were talking about, Kenya, in terms of having a larger lot size for your first entry, and then I kind of clicked with me. Like, so having a larger having a larger stop loss for your first entry, and then once that's in profit, bringing the stop loss into profit, where we're going to represent this as going into profit, but I'm just going to leave it here for now. And then entering the second trade. So then you've got no risk. So your risk is now higher because you would already be making like two. I did this on, I don't know, can you see this chart? Hello, am I talking to yourself?
No, we can see it.
Can you see the calculations I did?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I can probably see it, but I can't. The writing's too small.
So for this first, say we've got a 50K account, for this first trade, I'm risking 0.5%. So that's half of 500, I'm risking 250 on this trade. So my take profit, if it hits 100 pips, will be 250. So I'm in this first trade and I've done God's plan 100 pips. So 250 is not going to make me 10% or 8% of my profit target on a challenge account. So to add new positions, I need to wait. So say this number one till this is in profit. So on Sunday, it didn't, but on Monday morning, it came back and then it started to go to like more stable profit. So I can move this stop loss into profit. So I'm now that number one, we can go over to number two and we can add another position. So now I've got, was it 50? So I've got 250 added to my equity would be, what is it, 50? How do you say it? Somebody say it. I can't say it. I don't know. I can't get my words out. What would it be? 50? Todd, speak. What would it be?
What are you talking about?
My floating equity would be, what's it, 50?
50,250?
Yeah, there we go. 50,250. So I can add another position with, I can either risk 0.5%, but then I can make my stop loss smaller. So I've got a 13 pip stop loss. So that's a 7-to-2 ratio. And my take profit is 96 pips. Because I'm taking it to this high. So I've got more reward than I can risk. So I'm still risking the 0.5% of 250, but now I can make 1,856.64. But, huh?
I mean, it looks like you would have got stopped out though on that swing
How?
low, your second position.
No, where?
The swing low before your second position.
No, she wouldn't have. She just moved her stop loss up after she got her second position.
Sorry, it just went on. Sorry.
But the only thing I don't really agree with,
What's that? Well, why didn't you say that when I sent it to you?
well, listen, the take profit, in my opinion, would be the same on all three of them. There's nothing wrong with you doing it that way. But for me, my take profit for 2 and 3 would be the same as 1.
So what, 250?
So you see where you have the take profit on position number 1?
Oh, you're saying to here.
That's what I would do. Now, it's nothing wrong with the way you did it. You know, I mean, price eventually filled it. But for me, if I do the analysis and I'm saying that I'm taking the trade to this level, then when I add my second and third positions, if I'm doing 2 or 3 positions, I'm just taking it to the same spot as my first one, because my analysis said that that's where I can take the trade. Now you took yours higher, and obviously it worked out. But
yeah, that's where my minus 27 on the fib is.
Right, which is cool. I don't want to change what you're doing. I'm just telling you the way that I do it. I just take my position size to my initial target or whatever. And,
yeah.
You know, if it can go higher, then my initial target would have told me to be higher. You know, that's all I'm saying. So if anybody is watching, that's the difference. Whenever I say I just do the same profit target.
I get what you mean. Okay. Yeah, so for number 2, now you would have the 50k plus the 250 and then if you're risking like 0.5% or 1% on that trade, you can make your stop loss smaller and your profit target would be 375, and then your take profit is 1,856.64. So that means your floating equity will be 52k, £106.64. So then on your third,
Ours would actually be $152K, $106.
pound. Kenya, are you getting this again?
Yeah, I'm good. I got you.
And you
And
talk about 6 pence. That shit sound like make-believe money to us.
Pence and pounds.
I think my real question is going back to your first position.
okay.
So you got in on that first order block, or did you wait until you got tapped in on that wick? Because that would make a difference for me.
This wick here.
So that's where you actually got in the trade.
This wick here, you're talking about.
Yes. And so then at that point, your stop loss is still 100 pips.
Yes.
Yes.
And then it starts to go into profit.
Yes.
And then it comes back down, puts you in a little bit of drawdown, but then you go back into profit.
Yes.
But Leandra, is that New York session where it drew you down? Is that a session break that you have, Mark?
This isn't New York timing. This is all New York timing.
So listen, is that but I'm asking where it drew you down into a little drawdown after your first, right there. What session is that? Is that the
This is going into London session. So this is 5 a.m. London time. So this is New York time, like midnight.
right? So this is what I was saying. When you get in these positions on a Sunday, a lot of times it would do a liquidity run right at London.
Mm-hmm.
So you see how she got in when the market opened, or shortly after the market opened on Asian session, she was in profit. But then when the start of London session, it does a liquidity run.
Mm.
Then it goes into profit, and that's when she can start adding to her positions.
So, okay, it goes into profit. It does the liquidity run at London open, London session. And then you get that bullish order block. So now you're in profit.
Yeah.
So you would have set your first attempt at a second entry on that order block, you didn't get tapped in.
Which one? This one here?
Yep. And that's a question. It's kind of a question. Like how do I know when is go time to add my second position and be confident with the smaller stop loss?
I think that's something that you would need to analyze for yourself. What is your entry criteria for an entry in general and for a second entry? But for me, I don't like this because this is a bullish order block. This price hasn't come down and filled this liquidity. I think it might have filled it 50%, but I didn't like this. I just
you didn't like your second entry?
I didn't take this trade. I just marked it up because I was back testing to see the times at which I need to wake up and look at the charts when I can. So I think this is 1 o'clock in the morning for me when this is pulled back into this area, and it's because this is London. This is Sunday, an hour after Sunday. I think it's an hour. Is it an hour? I don't know. I think it's probably an hour. Yeah, that's an hour. This bullish engulfing candle, it's hour after Sunday open. So I was looking at the charts to see when is price going to pull back to give me an entry. Like, do I need to stay up for 2 hours till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning to wait for a pullback into this bullish order block so I can get in for a trade? Okay, cool. So I've got, I think it was like, so from there, go to bed. So I can have about 3 hours sleep until I need to wake up at 5 o'clock to check if I'm in profit or not, or to see if I'm in drawdown, to see if price is pushing up to look for a second entry. That's what I was looking at. Because for me at the moment, the US DJPY pair hasn't been respecting my entry criteria in terms of pulling back to an order block or filling an imbalance to get me in a trade.
Okay, so let me ask this. So is the safest way to add your second position, if your first position is what it is, you got tapped in where you got tapped in, your first position, 100 pips stop loss.
Yeah.
I'm asleep. I'm asleep during the London session. Maybe I wake up, maybe I don't know. And so then I'm still in drawdown. So I'm not really looking to, let's say I wake up at London session. I'm not looking to add a new position yet because I'm still in drawdown. So I take a nap, I wait, and then now it starts to push up. So now I'm in profit.
Yeah.
And am I not waiting for it to break the high that was shortly after my first entry got picked up? Yep, that right there. Go up. Yes. Do I wait? It's the safest way to add my second position to wait for that high to get broken and then use my entry criteria, which is usually the sponsoring order block for that move, or at least that area, and then set my limit for that area and try to get tapped in. I mean, obviously on this trade, it didn't tap, but I feel like UJ is notorious for not tapping.
So say if you woke up at 8 o'clock, your 100 pip move would be done. Here is 8 o'clock. Your 100 pip move would have been completed. The God's plan would have been done. So if you wake up at 8 o'clock or any time between 4 and 8, your move would have been done.
So I have to wake up at London.
Oh, you wake up at London.
Well,
No,
listen,
I'm saying that
I think so. Listen, I think so. And here's why.
Wait. Can I just say something quick? But
Okay, go ahead.
If you're saying about the high being broken, I don't know too much about highs, but I know about pullbacks.
That high.
This high.
Yes, so it broke. And so now I'm just waiting for the pullback to that area because now I can confidently say this market is buying up at least to my TP.
That is correct.
Okay, yeah, so I would go down to like a
Y'all killing me, man. Y'all making this so
a
difficult.
15 minute. I don't know about pullbacks and stuff like that. I don't really trade that, but this is how I would determine. Like, oh yeah, I get what you mean. Actually, this high being broken, yeah. But I would wait for a pullback. Let me check in the hour. Oh, it's not. It's going again. I would wait for a pullback on a lower time frame, like look on the hour or something. Which pair was I looking at? Where are we looking? Yeah, if you're saying it's high to be broken, I would wait for a pullback.
Yeah, no, gotcha. I guess the real question was wait on that break. And I think like earlier in the call, that's kind of what I heard as like a reoccurring, like solid concept for confirming your direction bias.
It is, but
So
let me throw a caveat in.
Wait for pullback to this order block here.
If you know, if you get that position in London,
This order block, yeah.
I mean, if you get that position in Asian session, and you know the market is going to pull back and do a liquidity run in London session, why wouldn't you get in right there?
why wouldn't I get in right when? At the London session?
Yes.
Yes. Not to get in and draw down.
What's it saying about this pullback here to get in?
That's where, listen, do you know why?
This is an order block. This is a imbalance, a fair value gap that needed to be filled. Price came down and filled it, and then started to push up.
So why didn't I just set that as my first entry?
Do you know why?
Your eyes might be tired. That's what I think. You know what I mean? You need to wake up a bit. That's what I think anyway. Sometimes my eyes are tired. I'm like,
Do you know why every week, whenever you get in your position, I always say, I'll make my 10%.
And I still be in drawdown on my first position?
Yeah, but you know why that happens?
Because you trade London.
Well, yeah, I wait for this. I get in, and if it pulls back, it's money.
So you don't mind adding your second position?
I don't mind.
First one is in
I don't mind, but here's the difference between me and
Yeah.
you. This is the difference between me and you. For a whole year, I've traded like this.
I got you. I know you have the experience that I don't have.
Right. So all I'm saying is if you know, and I've told y'all several times, hey, don't go so heavy or don't get in over your wheels because it's going to pull back and do a liquidity run, right?
Yep.
There's no better time than to enter than this. Now, here's the problem with this entry. You'll have two positions, right? And they're going to both be in drawdown. So what you should do is go in with half of your position on the first one and half on the second until you're comfortable with what you see. Because I go in with my full position on the first entry, right?
Right.
Because every now and then it just goes straight to where it's going. But most of the time it's going to pull back. And if it pulls back, then I go in with a full second position too. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's more like what I like to do.
Well, but you have to be comfortable with hedging. I mean, you have to have some sort of plan in case it goes wrong.
You have to be comfortable with your risk.
Right. So if it goes wrong, what are you going to do? You're going to blow your account and be like, man, damn Todd.
No.
I mean, like you have to have a plan. If it goes to crap, what are you going to do? I hedge. But, some people can't hedge effectively. So this may not work out for them. But it's no doubt in my mind that pullback for that liquidity run is always the best time, the absolute best time to enter.
Well, that's why I was, I did this working out on a 0.25%, 0.5% instead of a 4%. because because if say you do oversleep and you don't wake up for London session, then you do end up in drawdown, you know, and that drawdown might be, like you said, the liquidity run. So then you can wait and see for the a second position once you're in profit on the first one, but you're only in drawdown 0.5%, not your full percentage. So it won't give you a heart attack when you wake up and see your account's down.
And where's your stop loss on your second position? Because it's not 100 pips.
I've changed it to 100 pips. This is what Todd was talking about.
Yeah, but I thought the whole point of getting the second position to be able to get your 10% is for this position to be a little bit more.
It's less, yeah. So you can do a smaller lot size, a smaller stop loss.
Yeah, so like your first position is like, 0.0 whatever or whatever it is, and then your second position is like a full one standard. And then
That's just what you put it, Kenya. I mean, it doesn't have to be that big. It can actually draw up to the lowest wick, the lowest swing low.
I feel like I
you
don't
see that
understand
swing low?
swing lows. I should.
Like where the market comes down right before where she has that second position, that lowest point is a swing low. So in theory, you bring that stop loss up to the bottom of that swing low, maybe 10 or 15 pips below it or points below it, in case you think you might get another liquidity grab. But that's how you get your smaller stop loss.
Right.
Or here's a better idea.
But you know what? Wait. But you know why I wouldn't do? Why I would not get in for a second position here, Kenya? Because once this first position, if I enter here with this pullback here, this candle here, then I'm in drawdown. So I wouldn't get in for a second position here, because then I move this in to profit. That's why when I was doing this back testing and I was looking at times to get in, I would place this. Where did I place it? I can't remember. Here.
Right.
So then in profit, at least a couple of pips.
Oh
for like
man.
an hour, and then
The
I can get.
concept is the same though.
But listen to me, y'all.
I'm just trying to say, for a risk-free trade, I wouldn't enter here my second position, because my first trade would still be in a bit of drawdown.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, I would enter after that order block. After the order block, there, I would enter right there, and I would put my stop loss at the bottom of that wick. The bottom of the wick of the order block. There you go. I'm in there with, it's a 10 pip stop loss, at least 15% on between the two trades. What percentage is that on that trade right there? 9.2. What's the first one at 100 pips? 4%.
Well, it would be 100. This one would be 100 pips.
Right.
It'd be one.
So that's 1%.
And yeah, until you bring it into profit.
Okay, that's cool. So 1%, that's 10 point some percent right there.
Yeah.
Easy.
Do you understand the concept, Kenya, of the second?
Yeah. Sorry, so you're saying you wouldn't enter for the third position?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have a reason to.
You already made 10%.
Yeah. And really, if I'm 1,000% honest with you, I'm gonna get everything I need out of that initial move up. So I wouldn't even take this position to finish, because I would be finished on that right there on that. See that move where it starts wicking out? I'll be finished by the time that it starts wicking out. How many pips is that? Like 70 pips?
Yeah.
70, yeah, I'm done. 70 pips. That's exactly, it took me 70 pips this week, right?
I don't know.
70 pips.
You're taking it to the,
I think you guys have answered
first,
Kenya's question though.
first swing
Is
high.
Kenya, did you get the answer to your question?
I mean, I get it conceptually, like I do. And I understand Todd Hedges got it. Like, I'm kind of like Latasha, she wrote it in the chat. Like, I can get in the hedge all day, but I can't get out of the
Okay,
hedge.
but so listen, in this position, you wouldn't have been in the hedge. So
And
here's
that's luck for me. Like,
no,
that's luck.
no, it's not luck. I want you to listen to understand what we're doing here. You got your initial position via God's plan. Now, you're expecting this liquidity run. You're expecting that. So as soon as it runs that liquidity, you are looking for the reason to enter back in for a buy.
Yeah.
It ran the liquidity and you got a bullish order block right here in your face. That's all you need.
Yeah.
So it's not luck. You just waited for the liquidity to be ran. And we've listen, how many times have you heard me say it's going to run the liquidity from Asian session?
I can't count.
A bunch. So once it's ran, it's a done deal. And it always, always, always happens at the beginning of London.
Okay. So Todd, what's your schedule? You go to bed at what time?
Jeez, probably like sometimes 5 or 6 in the afternoon. And I get up to just to look for this, right? Once I get it, I can babysit my trade, or maybe I go ham right here, which in this case I would have went ham because I want to have my percentage knocked out in this initial push.
So you get up 30 minutes before London open, and then you start looking at the charts, planning your strategy, looking for what it's doing.
Yeah,
and
most
then,
of the time I'm up probably a little bit before 30 minutes before, but yeah, all you need is 30 minutes. You don't need very much time. You can set your alarm, and if your computer wakes you up and then alarm, that's all you need.
okay, and then you stay up until the whole London session is over?
No, well, in this case, I would have stayed up for those 70 pips. How long did it take to go to those 70 pips, Ned?
Let's find out.
So you just stay up until you get your 10% and then you go back to sleep. You watch your whole trade.
Well, yeah, if I over leverage, I do.
3 hours.
So yeah, those 3 hours and I'd have been done.
Where Todd, let me just make this a bit clear for the people in the back. So Todd got his 70 pips because he looked to the left and looked at this. Oh gosh, these are getting away now. He looked at this relatively
next high.
Is it swing high? No, next high.
It's the next available high. Yeah, you know it's going to break this first high. So
Todd looks to the left of to see when the next available high is, or there might be an order block here. This does look like an order block on a higher time frame. So price would reject from this area and then probably give you another entry. But why wait for another entry? Just take your profits here and then you can go back to sleep. So that's in 3 hours, you've made his 10%. That's just for the people in the back. If you ever thinking why he gets out so quickly and doesn't do the 100 pips, he looks to the left to see the next high, that because all this here, these are relatively equal highs. All this is liquidity. All this is liquidity above here. So price is taking that liquidity and then pull back. But Todd's just taking it at the 70 instead of going for the 100.
And listen, if your schedule is different than mine, Kenya, so you wouldn't have to stay up. You just don't over leverage. You get your second position and let it ride. Price is still going to where you thought it was going. I'm just trying to get my trading done.
I mean, I hear you. So like, if I'm willing to sacrifice a little sleep to get my trading done, I'll sleep Tuesday through Saturday.
Oh my God, here we go.
You could sacrifice your sleep and get whipsawed and chop the fuck up and and just be sleep and broke. I mean, tired and broke.
Mm.
So this is all I'm saying. You just have to be comfortable with understanding what you're seeing. That's it. Once you're comfortable with understanding, okay, this pullback is expected, then you're good. The problem is, if you don't understand that liquidity run, it might scare you instead of empowering you to enter into the trade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I don't mind the liquidity run. I think for me, with your first position right here, I see the 100 pip stop loss covers that major low way down here at the bottom. So that makes me feel really good, really confident about my first entry. And then the second entry is the one that makes me nervous because I'm always on pins and needles about whether or not that's actually a new swing low or
Okay,
if it's
so
come
listen.
back down some more.
So
And
we know it's a liquidity run now. So once you get it and you get that bullish order block, to me, that's your key to put it in drive. Now you take that trade by the horns and you ride the heck out of it up. You get what you need out of that. And I'm getting everything I need out of that initial impulse move, right? I know we just ran liquidity. I'm gonna ignore the high that it got to in Asian session. I need to look to the left of the chart to see where the next high is. And that's where Leandra has marked off at the top. So that's what I'm going to measure in my head. Okay, we're going to go from this liquidity run to that high. How many pips is this? This is 70 pips. What lot size do I need to make my 100 pips?
Huh? To make your 100.
I mean, to make my 10%.
Well, you need to.
I'm just.
He's not asking the question. He's just saying that that's what his thought process is. He does the math, calculates a lot, so he gets to 10% and 70 pips.
But what I would say also, Kenya, to give you more confluence to be certain that this trade is going to go up, what I missed when I was back testing this trade is that on the 50-minute, there's a bullish order block here that got tapped into, another bullish that got tapped into, another bullish order block that got tapped into, another bullish order block that got tapped into. So the only thing left to be taken below here is this fair value gap, is this imbalance that price needs to fill to have healthy price action. So when I was back testing this and I went down in the time frames, I think this is a order block, a big order block. But what I saw is that, okay, so price, this is why price came down into this area, because it's got an imbalance to fill. So if you ever feel uncertain, just look further down and think, is there any imbalances that need to be filled? Because that will cause price to draw down lower.
Okay.
So fill those imbalances, or fill that price action, because it needs to have healthy price action to be filled and stuff. But yeah, that's what I got from here, and I was like, oh, that's why it came back down and filled this imbalance. Because if you look to the left, all of these bullish order blocks tell me that price is going higher, and then it also tells me that price has filled all of these areas. There's no fair value gaps, there's no imbalances here, it's all been filled. So there's no reason for price to go lower. The only reason there is for price to go higher now. We've given it no reason for it to go lower, except for this fair value gap here. Why is it not purple? Yeah. I think I took a DJ trade this week. This one. This one I actually took this week. Did I? Yeah, this one I took this week. And I just took it to the 78.6, only 80 pips, 85 pips. And I got it for a second entry. What was I losing? And I didn't think the JPYs were even going to go as high as they did. I just took it to the 78.6 because I saw on the left-hand side that this fair value gap here needed to be filled. The price needs to fill this area. So I was like, okay, this needs to be filled. So yeah, it's possible it could go to the 78.6. What else is it? Yeah, that's rejected. Price tapped into this golden zone. And then it created this bullish order block, which made me think price is going to come down to this bullish order block here. It came down. It threw down further than expected. So I got in at this bullish order block here when price went down and built this imbalance. And then I got in for another one here as well. But it went past. I think these stop losses were wider than this. It didn't matter. But yeah, price through past. But yeah, that's another thing. I was very much surprised about. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Gosh, I got you, thanks. Yeah, 100%, Alicia. You can break it down. Break down your the amount you're gonna risk.
So Ty, we're doing a live London trade session on this Sunday so that I can make my 10% this week.
You don't have to you don't have to be live with it. Once you have your positions in, you could be done.
But what if my hedge picks up? I need you to tell me when to cut my hedge, how much to cut of my hedge.
Oh.
Walk through.
Oh my God.
But you
don't need your hedge won't get picked up if you enter the trade real properly.
So Kenya, would you put a hedge on your first position?
No.
So where would you put your hedge on your second position?
Yes. Because that second one, so just like my lot sizes, let's just say my first position, it tells me I can use a 1 standard. And then my second position, because it's such a significantly smaller stop loss, my lot size is like 15 lots. And I'm like, oh.
I believe it, too.
Oh, girl.
And I did it one time and I got so beat up. That's what happened in the month of February. I got so beat up that in order to pass my phase 1, I had to make 16K because I had to recover the 8K that I had lost and then make another 8K for the phase 1. So,
you want a 100K account?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's a challenge account and I've only passed phase 1. So I have plenty of time to pass phase 2, but I was on the wrong side of the US 30 this week and messed up myself. And so now I'm just trying to
I'll just wait on that US 37.
Yeah, but see, Leandra, no offense, Leandra, but I started to get confused because I thought it was going to sell from the 12-hour order block, but you're saying it's going to push up into it. And I'm like, okay.
So what I was saying is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're on a static chart. Yeah, you're saying that, Todd. Oh snap! I was on the wrong. Saying, I don't know. That's why I put alerts.
Yeah.
So say when price, I need to wait for confluence.
Everybody needs to wait.
Yeah, I need to wait for confluence, but on this chart right here, I can put alerts to alert me when price is at a certain point. Because if price goes down, I'm alerted.
But listen, guys.
Something's coming up on, wait, let me finish. I'm alerted to something's coming up on my phone or on this screen to tell me that prices come down. So I'm going to look at the charts and think and do an analysis. Or if price goes up to this 12-hour order block, I'm going to be alerted again to see if price has done a bullish order block and it's telling me it wants to go higher, or
Now
if
say
price
something.
has done a bearish wait for a bearish order block to tell me it's going lower. Like, I'm just waiting for confluence. Like that's what I was saying, Kenya.
That's awesome. Now,
No,
Kenya,
you're so rude.
Kenya, no, I'm saying that's great.
Yeah, but your
y'all are
sarcasm is
making
rude.
it too difficult.
Your sarcasm is rude.
Listen, it doesn't have to be that detailed or that difficult.
Okay, give me the simplified version
This is
because I
the
like
US 30. You see where she has that little order block marked up? You can draw a line straight across there under that order block that she has marked up. Not way at the top, at the bottom of that order block. You see it?
This one.
Yes. You can draw a line right across there.
and wait for price to break that. And
Set an
then
alert. As soon as price breaks and retests that area, I would do it at the bottom. Go move it up a little bit.
wait, because you're
Okay.
loading your statement, Todd. Like
Okay.
you're saying it like, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it took me so long to understand it because y'all gloss over very critical details. Like this whole retest phrase, y'all throw it out like it's so easy. It's
Okay,
like,
so hold on.
okay. Okay.
Once
I
price
must
breaks-
agree with Kenya.
once
Thank
price
you,
breaks
LB.
below this line.
I've been saying the same kind of thing for fucking years.
If you guys don't know or need the simple average, please just let us know. Please let us know what
I know. I do know.
I'm talking about you,
Telling-
boy.
I
What I'm
got
telling
I
you
know
is
now.
I've been
Carry
saying
on.
for a long time that you gloss over stuff and newer people aren't getting it.
So listen. Well, hey, I don't even know how to explain it the way I explain it. I mean, if y'all don't ever say anything, I go every Zoom call, I say, does anybody have any questions? And it's always crickets. So,
yeah, because the way
back.
y'all say it, it's like
Go
you're an
back.
idiot if you don't know what a
No,
retest.
that's not exact. I've never said that.
I know, but that's the vibe. Like it feels like if I were to ask you what's a bullish candle, y'all would look at me like, for real, Kenya?
You can't say that's
Okay.
That's the vibe. It's not the vibe. Go back to that candle. Let me finish what I was saying.
Oh wait, I know. Where was that trade that I sent you, Todd?
Go back to that candle, Leandra.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to look for an example to show. No, I thought the same way, Kenya, because I literally had no clue. Wait, I'm in the wrong.
Kenya, once it breaks that line, you can hop in for the sale, right?
On
Once it
the
breaks that line-
retest, another key
Well,
piece.
listen, Kenya. Even if it retests from this point and goes to that high, how many pips is that?
From this
Right there to the high where it is right now.
153 pips.
There you go. There's your stop loss. By the time it sells to the bottom, you should have your 10%. You're welcome.
Wait, sell from here?
That purple line. That purple line.
Yeah, sell from the purple line. I got you. But I thought you said wait for it to break the purple line.
See? Okay.
Yeah.
Here we are, potato, tomato, and tomato.
No, see, and
Oh
see,
my
Todd, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like these are it's very small, little, like
You can sell from that line.
Todd, please.
You can sell from that line down to the golden zone. You can have that 153 pip stop loss and you should still make it 10%. Right?
so don't wait for it to break and retest and get it on the retest.
That is what we're wait. That is what Todd is basically saying, Kenya.
Yeah, you can wait for it to break and retest. But my point is, if you don't understand what a retest is, you can sell it from that line.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. No, I mean, now I know what a retest is, but I don't know at what point it made sense because it was tossed around so much that it was like, you should just know what a retest is.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So you see how that line, you see how price went up and then you got a candle that comes back to that line?
Yeah, and I get it. That's the retest. Got it. I think I learned that, I don't know, several months ago. We're good to go on retest. I think what I recently picked up from you this week was rejection. Like it was an EN trade maybe. And you said, I asked you, how was I supposed to know to get in on the sell right here? And it was two candles. It was a doji candle and then another doji light candle, but I think it was a gravestone doji. And you were like, I'm in on the very next candle. So like that was the first time I had an example of rejection.
Right. Now, if you take that and you drop down the time frame with those wicks, you're actually going to see a bearish order block.
It was on EN, Leandra.
Right.
I think I might have an example of that.
It was the 4-hour candles, right?
Yeah, I think it was on the 4-hour.
Yeah. So if you drop down time frames, like around the 15-minute, you're going to see where it rejected on the 4-hour. You're going to see bearish order block on the 15-minute.
Right there, Leandra, you just passed it.
This one.
Yep, it's a doji and then a gravestone doji, which looks kind of like a bullish order block above the moving averages. But Todd said, I'm in on the very next candle.
That very next candle. And why though?
Yeah, I remember this. He said this on Tuesday. He didn't make it very clear.
Why? I know that you kind of got a swing high situation.
And you were expecting a sell.
And I was expecting a sell.
So you see,
can we highlight that area and then drop down to the lower time frames and see if there's an order block in those wicks?
On the 15 minutes.
I already highlighted it. Did I get him?
I just like draw a box around it so I know where I'm looking for on the lower time frames. Like, so I don't lose my spot.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now hit that zoom button. Zoom. Oh.
Green because I've got a green.
Oh, money green. Is that what?
Yeah. Yes, it is. So what are we looking for exactly? Oh, the spring structure.
Are you on a 15-minute?
An hour. I've got a lot going on this chart.
Okay, that's the area where we got those two dojis. Now I see 1, 2, 3 bearish order blocks in that same thing. And right there where that wick is, Kenya. Right where by your cursor. No, not that wick. The previous one. See how it pushed down? No, the down wick. That wick right there. See how it pushed down and retest. The retest is when it goes back up. Retest. Now your next bearish order block you can take. Boom. And it drops.
Wait, I got distracted. Say it again.
Okay.
I don't see the order block from that little box. I thought the box that Leandra marked up was purple. Did you change it to green?
Change it to green.
Yeah, honey, I could change it to
green. So you see the wick of this candle that pushed down?
The wick of the candle that pushed down, the long wick. Boom.
That right there. Now it drew back, it retested, it went back up. Now the next bearish order block you can take.
Right there. Yep.
Boom, and it drops.
Yep.
Wait, can you please repeat that? What is this long wick telling you? Like what? That is the one that's doing the retest you're saying?
That's the rejection.
Yeah, it pushed down and it went back up. Now you're expecting price to fall, right? That's the key. We're looking for shorts. We're expecting price to fall. That candle that pushed down told you, hey, we're about to drop.
Even though it rejected? Because did
it break a high after it rejected?
Come again?
Did it break a high or did it make a lower low after it rejected? Look at the structure.
I'm confused with that second pick window right
I
there.
don't know why the
Yeah,
second.
because she's pulling up the 4 hour. It's what started the whole conversation.
Okay,
So
but
the
but-
beginning of this conversation was we were looking for sales. From God's plan, we were looking for
Yeah.
sales.
Right.
Todd said jump in on the very next candle after the 2 doji like candles.
right.
And so he's
On the
saying
floor.
order
Yes.
block on a lower time frame that would have told us for sure get in for your sale, which would have been the quote very next candle on the 4 hour.
Yes, but I'm confused about that long wick that you just pointed out, Todd.
Because, okay, that
So this is what I'm gonna,
Andrew needs to go back over there.
wait, I'm going, so this is the same chart, yeah?
Right.
Yeah.
So the 15-minute, and I'm gonna drop down to a 5.
Wait, go back.
Wait, but I'm gonna show them the
She
the
said
wick.
confused about the wick.
Yeah, I know, I'm gonna show them the wick on a lower time frame. This is that same wick on a 5-minute. Does this make it a bit more clearer?
Can you add your moving averages just for kicks and giggles? Because I feel like if
But
those
here's the thing about the wick, guys. When it pushes down, it broke that low. Did it come back and make a new high, or did it make a lower high?
a lower high.
That's the key.
So, but when you say it broke the low, you mean it tapped
Well,
into that little order block or that
Well,
line
look
that
at the
is right
structure.
there?
Look at the structure where that wick is coming from. Look at the structure of the market. It broke
Yeah.
the low. Go to the second chart, Leandra.
Yeah.
See that low right there? The to the left?
This one here.
Yes. That low was broken.
Uh-huh.
It pushed down. That's telling you, hey, I'm going lower, right?
Uh-huh. So
Then
it retests.
Then it pulls back to retest.
Uh-huh. But it doesn't create a higher
It
high.
doesn't create a higher high.
Hold on. Can you point out the retest, please?
Sweet Jesus.
When
Right? I'm sorry. After the wick.
So the
Oh, the
it wicks
price up.
down, wicks
Yeah.
down aggressively, and then it
Now the
pulls,
retest.
shoots up. So that's a retest to match healthy price action to
It closes
retest
that
this,
imbalance. It feels
Okay,
that
but
imbalance.
what are you saying, Elfie?
That's the retest.
what you're showing me on the red and green chart is the 5-minute. I wouldn't
Yeah.
look at 5. I would actually look at the 15. So I was looking at the black and
Yeah,
gray chart.
This is why I'm showing you the 5. It's because Todd's trying to explain the retest, that this is what we call a retest. So on the 15-minute, it's just going to look like a wick because it's retested so quickly that it's just created a wick on the 15-minute.
And it didn't give you a new high on the retest. That's the key.
What do you mean a new high on the like?
Okay.
So the retest is
Right.
that is testing that break of.
Yes, it's testing the break of structure. It broke structure to the bottom. Then the price pushed back up. It did not break structure going back up. As a matter of fact, it was probably closer to a 78, maybe a 88% pullback. Then
So you're saying this green wick didn't shoot all the way back up.
the whole move is not just that wick, the whole move. back
Yeah, the
up.
whole up move.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so you're well on a higher time frame would be like the whole move, but you're saying this retest, this whole environment, yeah, didn't test this area and then shoot all the way back up bullish.
Right, but for me, if you look at that 15-minute chart,
Yeah.
you see the bearish order block right before the price shot down.
Yeah.
Oh, before the price, before the wick. That's the key. You don't want it to break this high, right? You don't want the price to go higher than that order block right there. As long as the price respects that order block,
You know you're going lower. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I can see that.
that should have told you that it's go time to sell it.
Okay.
That order block sponsored that break of structure. Price came back up to that order block and then it sold.
Yeah, so for me, the retest is more clear on the 15-minute chart. But I see what you're saying, Leandra, is that on the lower time frames, that 15-minute candle that happened, there's more activity than we can see on the 15-minute chart. So that's why we were
Yeah.
looking at 5 minutes. So I think I mean, I understand that. I just didn't know it until this week.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm still learning things that I didn't even know that I didn't know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, if you ever get a bit hesitant or confused, just drop down to a low time frame to understand what's going on. Do you know what I mean? Because that might help you, or put them side to side if you have Pro, to see what's going on, and then you can always delete all this stuff once you know. I don't want to confuse anyone with a 5 minute, but I think it's to understand that this retest here, it's good to drop down to a lower time frame to see what they can, to understand a retest, because it's probably touched down here in 1 minute. I think this is probably like a 1 minute, 2 minute kind of action that is done. You'll even see more. You'll probably see a bearish and a bullish candle right next to each other. And it's like kind of like a news candle. If you ever see news on US 30 and it has a bearish candle, and then straight after a bullish candle just forms. Yeah. Everyone got something from that.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you.
Hopefully nobody else feels like they can't ask questions.
Well, you do run on a bit. But...
I don't feel like we can ask questions as much as it's like an art to even try to ask the right question.
Yeah.
Well, that part is probably true, because you don't know what you don't know, and I don't know what I don't know. Like, I don't know how I can help if the question isn't asked. I can only explain it the way I understand it, and a lot of times that's not good. That's why I ask other people to teach, because a lot of people, or maybe not a lot, but some people aren't going to understand the way I explain it, and other people aren't going to understand the way Kim explains it. So the more people who have an understanding of things speak, the more people who are going to get it, because somebody is going to speak in a way or in a manner that you comprehend better than what's been put out there. So I think that's just some of the issue. We can keep breaking things down, but at the end of the day, if it's not broken down to a level that you can digest it's just not even, it's not worth it. Then you have to wait and ask again and again, which is no problem. That's why we have the group. But I think
then you say, "Sweet Jesus."
People will be better served if they could get their questions answered when they have them,
Alicia said in the chart as well, retest, pullback, retracement, like it's all the same thing. It's like, you've got to make it make sense for you. Do you know what I mean? That's what I've found with trading. Make things make sense for you. Fair value gap, imbalance, it means the same thing.
Right.
Like make it make sense for you. And then some of the things that Todd says, I'm just like, I wouldn't call it that, but he calls it that, So, but I didn't correct him every time. I just, blank it out of my memory, but.
Well, for me, I think it took me a minute also to get what the retest is, because I remember Kim always talking about a retest, and I never really knew what was being retested or which level and why. So I still seem to have like no eye for what is being retested, like what exactly sometimes. Like if it's not like for me, a tapping into an order block, that's basically, isn't that also a retest? At some point or some sort of retest?
I think that's a retest for a trend. Is it a zone or what was it, support and resistance zone or something like that? But I don't trade that way.
So I guess Elfie, an example of what you're saying though is right here in front of us. So Leandra, where you're hovering, that swing low right there, that kind of retested the break of structure that happened to the left when it broke to the upside. No, keep going to the left. To the left.
So that tested the validated order block right there. So see
No,
that
keep
one.
going to the left. You got a bearish order block to the left of where you are,
Exactly.
right there. Right? So that's a
yeah.
bearish order block. And then to the right, you have a breakthrough. It broke that level and went up.
Correct.
So
Which
then
is
it comes back and retests that area and gave you a bullish order block, which was telling you it's going to go higher from there.
got it.
I'm not saying that confidently. I'm just pointing
No,
out.
but I can see that it's testing that violated order block. But I just didn't see the line that was up there a little bit above what was being retested. That's why I was wondering, or maybe I didn't see that order block. But I get it now, I think. If not, I'm gonna ask again.
So how many times can an area be retested? As many times as the market wants to until it breaks through?
I think so. I actually don't know. I guess question for Todd. Todd? Osmunda?
I mean, it depends on the time frame you're talking about. I mean, if you drop down in the lower time frames, that it might retest a million times, you know, before it takes out. So it really depends on the time frame. Like when you're looking at a higher time frame and you think the market's not really moving, you know, it's you know, why coffin? It's retesting, you know. So if you drop down a lot of times to the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 5 minute, you know, you're gonna see a bunch of back and forth, a bunch of chop. So I don't think there's a real answer to that question unless you go back and number one, what time frame are you talking about? There's probably maybe an average. I mean, maybe there is. I don't think there is. But if you look at the time frames, that's all that's happening. You know, this is back and forth, consolidation.
In closing, I'd just like to say everyone be careful with your stop losses because the markets have been crazy this week.
They've been amazing for you. They've been amazing.
I'm just saying if you're trading beyond or anytime, just be careful.
There's a lot of red folders too.
Yeah, there's a lot of red folders, but just
Are
be
we
careful.
done yet, guys?
You know what? Yeah, goodbye.
Leandra, I mean, we got to talk, man.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a good week. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. No matter what the question is.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Where the heck is Leandra?
Leandra left, but so Todd, we're doing this live session on
This motherfucker.
Yes, ma'am.
How the fuck do I call Leandra? This motherfucker be killing me, man.
Oh,
live trading session on Zoom on Sunday.
yeah, we can do that.
Oh,
I need 10%, man. I need it. I need it. I'm so tired of, I need it.
Kenya, I think you'd be better off getting it via crypto, but that's another story. How do I get Leandra? Do I just?
I don't know. from a crypto standpoint, like it just feels like the spreads are so ridiculously large. I don't. My husband likes to trade Ethereum and I just don't even touch it.
I'm not talking about trade.
Oh, well, I got to make trading money first before I can go and buy some crypto.
Okay. We'll get it.
You're still recording, by the way.
God, my brother is hilarious.